Hello, welcome to this English presentation of verb tenses in the present. My name is Annie. I'm actually an English teacher and entrepreneur. What I like, my passion in life is really to transfer you my knowledge about languages. I also teach French and Spanish, and really, so I'm here with you to help you to develop your enterprise with English, with the help of English, because I know that sometimes it could be challenging and you might struggle with the verb tenses and to be confident or feel at ease in English. But don't worry, everything has a solution. So in that video, I just wanted to focus a little bit more on the structure of English because sometimes it helps to have the logic behind a language. Okay. It helps you because it goes faster in your process of learning. And I know that with rational people, it's often interesting to know the reason why we say I read and not I'm reading. All right. So in this video, I decided to compare French with English. It's not something I often do because I like to stick to English to help mastering the language, to help thinking in English. But in the case of verb tenses, I think that sometimes it helps to have a comparative and just to understand better the logic of French, the logic of English. So just to combine them, to see them each other side by side and see how it works in your brain in French and to compare it with how we see it in English. It could be interesting to really click. Sometimes there is something that's going on in the brain and say, ah, okay, I see it. All right. So let's go straight to the point. I don't want to lose your time because we all have a busy schedule. So I'm just going to share my screen. So you have a visual, also going to help the visual people. So good. English present tenses. Here we go. So I've put some sentences here to help you visualize what we say in French. Okay, I use the verb to read. I could have used any verb tenses, but just so on, you understand. All right. Donc, je lis tous les jours. Okay, because I say tous les jours every day, I'm going to use the simple present in English. Okay, actually, the simple form of the present. I read every day. Good. Why do we say I read and not I'm reading? Okay. I read every day because this is a habit. When you use the simple present in English, think about a fact or a habit. All right? What I mean by a habit is something that you repeat often at a certain frequency. I read each weekend. I read every evening. Okay, I repeat the action. I work from Monday to Friday. This is also an action that I repeat. Great. It could also be a fact like I live in the province of Quebec in Canada. I live in Quebec. It's a fact. Nobody will argue with me. All right. Fact, habit, something we repeat constantly. We use the present, simple present. Now, in French, we could say I lis. I lis. Sorry about that. Je lis. Good. This is what happened when I mix two languages. Donc, je lis. It's happening right now. Good. In English, we will use what we call the present continuous, or you might have heard also the present progressive. We always use the verb to be in present plus the verb in ing. Some people will say the ing verb, right? So I'm reading. You can say, I'm reading now, I'm reading right now, I'm reading at the moment. but it's not necessary to specify that it's happening now because just saying I'm reading, people understand that this is what you're doing. Good. Let me give you a question that you might hear sometimes when you meet somebody. Good. Somebody can ask you the question, what do you do? What do you do is in the simple present. So if you hear that question, you want to give general information about yourself. Good. Simple present is general habit. So you're going to answer about your occupation, your profession, your activities, what you do in general. All right. So what you do, I can say I'm an English teacher. I live in Canada. I like so and so. So you're following me here? Great. Now, if I want to ask somebody or somebody asks you, what are you doing? In verb, this is right now. Good. So you're going to answer what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, you can say, I'm cooking, I'm watching TV, right? You're doing something at the moment. Be careful about the question. And the verb tense. Good. The next verb I want to show you is combination. Combination of two verb tenses. First one is the present perfect. And second one is the one that we've just seen, the present continuous. Okay. If I say in French, ça fait 2 heures que je lis. Okay. I'm reading right now. But I won't say I'm reading because I have an extra information. Ça fait 2 heures. Okay. So we mentioned the duration. When you talk about the duration, the moment you started before up till now, and you're still doing the same activity, you're going to use the present perfect continuous. Don't worry about the term. If you don't remember present perfect continuous, it's not the information I'm focused on. I just want you to use correctly the verb, right? So we're going to say, I've been reading. I have been reading for 2 hours. We always use have been plus the verb in ing. All right. I have been doing something for a certain time. The logic in English is the time you started, the duration of time is always important. We need to consider that in the verb tense. If you have this information, we have automatically a present perfect. If you're still doing it, you add a continuous. The ing. I have been reading for 2 hours. Right. Now, if I tell in French, je lis with insistence, okay, this is what I'm doing. I want to convince somebody. Okay? In English, you're going to say, I do read. You can say, I read, but the subtlety, the tone that you use will be the same, will not be the same. Okay? I do read. It's more something that you will use in an argument when you have an argument with somebody. So I do believe in that. You want to convince somebody, all right? So if you say I do read, people would understand that you want to insist that this is what you're doing, all right? So it could sound aggressive, all right? I know that most of people would understand that it's okay. It's not your first language, but it passes. But sometimes it could be seen as an aggressive tone when we use do. Good. I hope this is clear. Our extra information that I can give you also is when we use the third person of the singular. If we use he, she, it, we will have an S, a S in the simple present. So I read, if it's a he or she, we will say he reads or she reads every day. There's just this information to be careful of. Otherwise, we use read for you read, we read, they read. There's no problem here. Good. I'm reading, if we use he or she, we'll just conjugate the verb to be in the right person. He is reading. She is reading. Same thing for you. You are reading. We are reading. They are reading. But just conjugate the verb to be as it is in the simple present. In the case of I've been reading, with he or she, you will change have for has. So he has, she has, okay, the form of the verb have in the simple present. So he has been reading for 2 hours. Good. And I do read or she does read. Do will become does. Right? Perfect. I also added extra information for you. Good. But note that this part, if you don't understand clearly today, there's no problem and don't worry about that because sometimes I take 2, 3, even 4 classes to explain the next verb I'm going to give you. Okay. This is called the present perfect. The present perfect, in my experience, this is the most difficult verb tense to master in English. So that's why I say, don't worry for now. I'm giving you the information, but if it's not mastered, that's fine for me. There's no stress at all, right? Good. Now, if I want to translate, je viens te demander. Good. I come to your office. I have something to ask you, an information, whatever I have to ask you. Je viens te demander. In English, we'll say, I have come to ask you. Okay. I have come because the logic behind that, it's a recent past first that is connected to the present. If I say I have come, it's because the action of coming is already done. I'm already in your office. I'm already here. Okay. So I have come. Usually we use the present perfect when there's no specific time. Something has been done in the past and it doesn't refer to any time. But I just want to give you that for today. Okay. Remember that when you have done something before, you're there at the moment. We use I have come to ask you. Good. If you want to go deeper in that subject, it's going to be a pleasure for me to explain you. Okay. But for today, I don't want to overload your brain. Right. Next one. J'arrive. Okay. I'm coming. We've seen that just before. So because it's now, I'm coming. And note that often we translate the verb arriver, with the verb come in English. It's just more natural for an Anglophone to use I'm coming instead of I am arriving. Good. So there is also extra information here. Good. Just more natural. It's not bad to say I'm arriving. Okay. It's just less common that we use that in English. So we can say I am coming. Perfect. If we're talking about a person, girl in that case, elle arrive. Good. Elle arrive, meaning that laisse-lui le temps d'arriver. Okay, if we are, see, you are in a situation when a person is pushing another, well, let's call her Sarah, okay? Sarah is coming, okay? And there is Matthew who asking her a lot of questions, and he doesn't give her time to arrive, to come and settle down, be comfortable at ease. You see the context, you can imagine the situation. Good. And I'm telling Matthew, okay, wait, she has just come. Okay. Let her time to be here, to remove her coat or to take off her coat or whatever, to sit down. You understand what I mean? Good. So I'm gonna say she has just come. In that case, it's also the present perfect. Good. So she is here. She is here. So she has done the action before that moment. So good. It is also very subtle, very subtle to understand that. So again, don't worry if it doesn't go through right now, but eventually you gotta get there. Good. And obviously we use she has because it's the third person of singular. It's another example. But instead of the verb coming in that sentence, we can use the verb get. Get that this is a verb that we often use in English. We use it for everything. Not everything, but pretty much. Pretty much. Okay. So instead of saying she has just got, we can say she has just got here. If we say it fast, she's just got here, right? So in that video, this is the information I wanted to give you. Um, if it if you are interested to know more, if you want to go deeper in the verb tenses, either in the present, past, future, know that I really love to share information about the structure, especially with rational people who need to understand and they need to know the reason why we say that. They like to have a path, a structure to follow, right? So that was my pleasure to share that with you, and hopefully I see you soon. Bye bye.